moments of awareness, repeated many times, become automatic. It's only by this instinctive recognition of oneself in relation to all of one's experience, including the experience of being somebody, that it becomes obvious that that somebody never existed as any kind of independent entity that was troublesome or imperfect. After decades of convincing oneself that there is someone who is an accumulation of their history, all their thoughts, emotions, sensations, and experiences of life, and that somehow identifies who you are or who you take yourself to be, then that is gradually cut through by the power of short moments in a very authentic way. Another thing that it says in this text that is extremely important is there is no disturbance in disturbance. Now, many of us consider ourselves to be our disturbing states. That's what we identify with the most strongly. Whatever our disturbing states are, we're sure that's absolutely proof that we exist as an independent entity, and that these disturbing states are our calling card that say, yes, indeed, I'm a weirdo and I somehow exist apart from natural perfection. And you see, so short moments many times is required to cut through that. By the power that in one's own experience, it becomes obvious that there is no disturbance in disturbance. Now, when short moments many times is initiated, it can only be initiated if there is an instinctive recognition of awareness already, an instinctive recognition that there is something at the basis of all, that is the basis of all experience. And then for most people, that realization that there is no disturbance in disturbance, or that there is no self in the self, comes about gradually. All the points of view, like the points of view of disturbance. And certainly the idea that there is a self-originated self is a big disturbance, isn't it? Then gradually one comes to see that these what all these points of view are not disturbing. So initially it could be that they are no longer seen as foes or enemies. There's a little bit of confidence and awareness. There's a little bit of certainty and natural perfection. Then there's a little bit of ability to see that these points of view are more like friends or allies than foes or enemies. And that as that recognition becomes more certain in experience, then pretty soon the points of view don't even need any kind of thinking about them or any kind of response whatsoever. They're like a knot in a snake. They're a contortionist or a knot in a snake. If they get into a bind, then they're their own undoing. Nothing is needed to help them get out of their pickle. They spontaneously release, and the same is true with points of view. By the power of confidence in natural perfection, confidence and awareness, then it becomes clear that these points of view are self-releasing. They're free in their own place. There's never anything that has needed to be done about them. as there's no disturbance in them anyway. There's nothing that needs to be done. So you see, by this gradual process, then there's less and less involvement in demanding an independent nature out of all these points of view. And then as even greater certainty and awareness comes about, the points of view, they're appearances that are empty of an independent nature. It's like going into an empty house and not finding anything there. There's nothing there that can be found to be disturbing or to have an independent nature in any way. And then lastly, the points of view are completely outshone by their own natural perfection. So it isn't that there's natural perfection and it does the thing on points of view. It's that the natural perfection has only ever arisen within the points of view. It isn't anywhere else. So you see, in this way, gradually, what seemed to be two is found to be not two. That there is no two, and there never has been this division between natural perfection and all phenomena. Now, if one is willing to keep it simple, then it's just this easy. It's really very swift and sure. So first of all, each of us in relation to ourselves and our own experience of life, we have to take responsibility for teaching ourselves essentially what our nature is. We really do. No one else can do it for us, even though a teacher might give us all the most pithy instruction. It still boils down to our own experience and what we take that to be. And the profoundly skillful means are in short moments repeated many times. There's nothing better than that. It's a profound legacy for every human being. And so why reject your inheritance? Why reject your most precious inheritance? And each short moment is a precious gem of pure knowledge, where you come to see every point of view is like a dream. It's like a dream image. When we dream at night, even though we might be all upset in the dream and doing all kinds of bizarre things, when we wake up, there's no way anyone could convince us that anything in that dream ever existed. We know for sure that it didn't happen, right? There isn't any kind of entity like a self or an individual that is the underpinning of misperception of phenomena, or dualistic perception, as it's sometimes called. You see, there isn't any kind of entity in there anywhere that can get one over on awareness. It's impossible. So there's no struggle anywhere. There isn't anything to effort for or achieve. Everything that is to be known is only known in awareness of the here and now. And that here and now of awareness is always spontaneously self-releasing, unless there's a dump truckload of descriptions poured on it. Then there's complete uninvolvement in it, even though all kinds of things might be appearing.